So what's cooking in new books? The book critic for the New York Times, Liesl Schillinger, is here to tell us. Good morning.
Good morning.
We use the word cooking on purpose because what we're seeing now is kind of cookbooks and memoirs in one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this new trend. It's kind of a smorgasbord of new books that mix recipes with personal stories of love and loss. And you remember Bridget Jones's Diary?
Yeah, of course.
These are kind of like Bridget Jones's cookbooks.
Oh.
And I
can see a lot of appeal in those.
Yeah, I mean, they're a lot of fun, and they can sort of spice up your home life, but they can also just make cooking an art form and a life form. This first book, I loved, I lost, I made spaghetti.
Great title.
It's this lovely woman. She's about 40. She's been dating for 20 years. She realized all the men were gone, but she still had her recipes. And she's like, let's make a book out of this.
Very nice. The next one, Pleasure is All Mine, Selfish Food for Modern Life.
Well, this lady is more of a sort of Sex and the City type of girl. She's like, I want to be happy. I don't care if food is the way to a man's stomach. I want it to be the way to my taste buds. 100 fantastic recipes that you can make for one.
Then we go to Spiced, a pastry chef's true stories of trials by fire, after-hours exploits, and what really goes on in the kitchen.
This book is a little racy. You know the book Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain?
Sure.
This lady is writing about what goes on behind, in the kitchen at a fancy restaurant. She doesn't have recipes here, but she has lots of spicy stories from her life in the restaurant.
Nice.
This next book, Under the Table, it says it's saucy tales from culinary school, but it's really more sweet. It's this great woman. She's a good girl, the top of her culinary class, but she didn't go to work at a restaurant. She got married, and so all of her cooking skills are for her husband and her family, and she has wonderful recipes you can make at home, and flourless chocolate cake, buttermilk pie. They just sound delicious.
They do. The last one is sort of, it's been out for a few years, but it's the mother of this genre, you think?
This really took off. This inspired people so much. There's a woman living in Queens, and she was kind of bored, so she decided to make every recipe in Julia Child's cookbook at home and to blog about it. That was 2004. Turned this into a book. It became a huge hit, and this summer it'll be a movie. And Meryl Streep.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Amy Adams, right?
Amy Adams is going to play the chef, and I sort of figure, once you have Amy Adams playing you, it's clear that being a cook can be the same as being a romantic heroine.
There you go.
And these women are the heroines of their cookbooks.
Thank you, Liesl.